Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Yes, what's going on, everyone? Appreciate you joining me here live on the channel. Appreciate you. What's going on, Sinclair? See Sinclair in the building. Gucci, George M, DPG, Jeff Thayer, Goat Hill Trayer, D, who else is K-Mac, Corey Kwan, Matthew in the building, Stockafella, Hawardo, Wande Kansa, fuck you. Appreciate all of you joining me here today, and volatility continues. Volatility continues as we approach what is described as the bull's last stand. The bull's last stand, which is the 200 moving average. Very interesting candlestick for today's action on the Qs. The spinning top can be considered an end to the selling, but we need confirmation of that with at least 2 days worth of buying action. So the bulls have to be in control tomorrow. And then, those guys who are short may have to reassess their positions. They may have to reassess their positions. But until then, right now, volatility continues and we continue to go lower. Thank you to my host, my guest rather, yesterday, David Lincoln, educating us on the TVIX, TVIX. And sure enough, just the next day, today, we saw the TVIX go from, mid-tens to as high as 11.54. So there was an opportunity for you today to get over $1 a share in TVIX. That was a nice run for that play today. All right. The title of the show today is about how volatility won't stop in April. For those of you guys who've been trading for some time, you understand that May is another earnings month. And here's the thing. Many companies will adjust or reassess projections for earnings the first week of April. All right, the first week of April. So we've already had a few companies, or actually one company in particular, I know Rite Aid came out and spit something today. That's why their stock ran, and also putting out news that the deal is finally gone through, at least the Walgreens side. I know they also sold quite a bit of their business to Albertsons. So nice run there today on Rite Aid. That's looking kind of like a short now with all that interest today. We'll see if that continues to ride on that. But that kind of really came out of nowhere on that. So nice little break to the trend there on Rite Aid with today's action. I think catching some shorts off guard there. So we'll see what happens with that tomorrow on that beautiful small cap run there on Rite Aid. All right. Yes, indeed. So what's going on with Tesla? Is it the new Facebook? Yeah, Tesla's lost almost 35% of its value this month alone. And, the deal with that is just, the word has been put out that Tesla is nowhere near meeting the demands necessary for the Model 3. They've got quite a bit of orders that people are waiting for. and they are not meeting the supply. And business and traders don't like that, because the idea is, well, if someone who's interested in buying has to wait and wait and wait and wait, they're going to take their money elsewhere. They're going to go buy a Ford. They're going to go buy a GM Volt or something like that. But I think that, buyers there are more loyal than the market is explaining to people. So we're seeing a very similar move here in Tesla that I think we'll see in Facebook, and we are seeing in Facebook, where they'll eventually bounce back, but you're just going to have to be patient. But, there are other reasons for the Tesla slip. You've got some guys out there who are saying that, hey, Tesla is just a car company, but it's got an IT company valuation, right? This is a car company. This is it should be a 18, 20, 25 PE type company, all right? But right now they're heavily overvalued, according to them. All right, shout out to the people coming into the chat room. What's going on, Ricardo? Matthew Swanson in the building. Shirley Lewis, what's up? Candace Thomas, Tesla's financial are garbage. That's why, yeah, horrible financials. We know that. They're burning through cash. I've mentioned here that Elon Musk is the, biggest corporate welfare queen alive right now. All right. Billions of dollars in corporate welfare. Right. Tesla, by the way, if you buy a Tesla, you're going in there a lot of the time, depending on what state you live in, you also get subsidies toward the purchase of a Tesla vehicle. So that's basically a welfare operation going on there at TSLA. Right. Said someone died today by Tesla. Did someone die at Tesla? By the hands of Tesla? I'm not aware of that. We had a guy call up yesterday about Fuzz, F-U-S-Z. If you saw the ticker today, that's kind of why I was quiet on the call. I knew what was going to happen. I just let him speak, though. And, I wanted you guys to really get the game and understand how, this business works. All right. F-U-S-Z. He told us that news was coming out. That's obviously a gentleman who's got some connections with the company. The news came out, but they sold on the news. Quite, interesting dip buying, right? I mean, quite a bit of dip buying here. They hit 120s and they bought it up 20 cents, right? So if you're a 120 buyer, you're up. So we'll see what happens from here on out. But I wanted you guys just to get the game, man. That's what OTCs is about. So I hope that the people who had ridden it up high to the 2s or higher, you got the opportunity to take some profits there. And, you're not at home second guessing whether or not to keep holding and whatnot. Just get your money and keep it moving. All right. What's going on, Bats? You said Tesla's got a car crash. All right. I do know of that car crash you're talking about in California. They're suspecting something could have happened there. So they're looking into it. 210, you're on the air. What's up?
What's up? It's me, Gerardo.
Hey, Gerardo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? No, nothing, man. Just something worth mentioning. I don't know if anyone else has ever mentioned it, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Amazon. I've noticed when the past couple pullbacks, overall market pullbacks, Amazon's always a day, 3 days late. The last time like a week ago, I mentioned that Amazon was going to pull back, and it looked like Amazon was good. Like it had pulled back a little bit, but it didn't look like it was going to pull back the way the rest of the market was going to pull back. but I bought a couple puts anyways, and I made some money on that assessment. Past couple of times, it's always like a day or 3 days late for that pullback. When the market pulls back overall. Anyway, that's just worth mentioning. And I don't know. I'll take your thoughts off the line here.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, Gerardo. Appreciate you bringing up Amazon. Here's the thing, man. Amazon, it dipped yesterday, right? Market wide, we had that going on. But today's action in Amazon also includes the, and you guys always, I've said this quite a lot, like the market's so fucking rigged. The CNBC crowd and many other business, wannabes out there were pushing these comments that Donald Trump had made in 2016 during his election run, where he mentioned the Amazon he hinted to the fact that Amazon is a monopoly, that Amazon has gotten too powerful, that they cheat the system, and that they, impoverish communities, blah, 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 blah. And today, all day, if you were watching CNBC, they just replayed that same clip over and over and over and over and over again. He hasn't said anything about Amazon and, damn near since he was elected. I haven't heard him say anything about Amazon. So you brought that out today, and, look, the mom and pop traders, they're going to watch TV and they're going to sell on the news, right? Somebody who's been up, they're going to sell on the news. And I think that added to, to the sell-off today in Amazon, right? And that's why you got a $65 move lower. If I'm correct, it translated to $15 billion knocked off its valuation today alone on Amazon, all right? And not on any real news, not any fundamental change to the business. Just we think Trump is going to do something. I'm kind of tired of this kind of thing, where everybody, this market, especially these large caps, the more I get into them, the more I realize it's just like trading OTCs to a certain extent. It's gossiping and wondering and maybe, and it's just a whole nother level of it. You know what I'm saying? It's more expensive. It's more hype. It's wrapped in a nice, cleaner, more professional wrapper, instead of, guys with weird ass avatars on Twitter and stock tweets. It's guys who show their face and have ties. You know what I'm saying? It's different, man. So I'm still learning about that. But today's sell-off in Amazon was unjustified. For those of you guys who have black box stocks, I saw a $1 million trade for, I believe it was like the 990s. Let me go back and see that on Amazon. I saw $1 million trade. Okay, that was actually, oh no, this is okay, it was let me see here. Okay, so yeah, this is a $1,200 put. Right? Not $1,200, the $1,200 put for April 20th. So let me show you guys what they're trying to do here. This is the 1200s right about here. For April 20th for $2 million. April 20th, $2 million, the 1200s, 1200 put. Now, here's the thing about Black Box. It doesn't tell you if they're selling those or they're buying. If you're a seller here, that could make some sense. But could be a buyer. Could be a buyer. Could be somebody who honestly thinks that Amazon could sell off 200 points, 250 points and more, or it doesn't even have to get all the way. He could get halfway, and this guy could make a shitload of money. Ken, call me back, Ken. All right, so interesting call there. I'll be paying attention to that. I wrote that down. I'll be watching Amazon over the next couple of days. There you are. Ken, 646, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? So I feel like I'm eating crow tonight. I admit I'm wrong. I was wrong with FUSC. I sold it all today. I sold 35 of the 8,500 at $1.68 and the rest at $1.30.
Well, Ken, here's the thing, man. You were really smart because you let your friend do all the talking, and I noticed that. I noticed that you didn't want to be the guy, putting your neck out there. You let him do, you let him kill himself, and I noticed you were doing that. But I mean, what do you think about the stock now? I mean, what are you, moving forward? How you like it?
Well, there was someone that purchased 444,000 shares at $1.17 last week. So I'm thinking the bottom is around $1.15. That's what I'm thinking. And tomorrow, if it's down, it'll be the third day down. So maybe you start nibbling away again at that $1.15 mark. I mean, I don't know. The story hasn't changed. Everything looks great and stuff. I mean, the only thing is, you were concerned last night. Could the CEO increase the authorized shares? Could he? I think the quarterly earnings are coming out either Thursday or Friday, and they're not going to be great. And I know the stock market looks 6 months out, but what do you? It's had a huge run from, what was it, 40 cents?
Yeah. My personal opinion, I think it's tapped out. I mean, I'm glad you made your money out of it. I think it goes much lower until you get some kind of substantial news. You guys mentioned the deal with Oracle, maybe some clarification on that or no deal. At the end of the day, I've noticed that, the financials are overdue here for the recent quarter. So, unless we see that those numbers, then I think this goes significantly lower unless they present something where they've generated $1 million worth of revenue or something to hit the bottom line. I mentioned yesterday in the show that the company said it themselves. 2016, 2017, no revenue, right? $326 million market cap, and no revenue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you gotta, ask some questions there. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad you made your money on it, and now you move on to the next one. We're excited and looking forward to your next pick.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, because I think back when we and I were talking about the PRED, and that the one went from $1 to $3.70, and I announced in the show I sold it all at $3.30. I announced it. I said I don't care. I made very quick money easily, and why take a chance? And Pred today is at $1.20.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about taking some off the table and not getting fallen in love. It's like a cult, for crying out loud. It's so easy to get sucked into these things.
Absolutely.
No matter how experienced you are, and you can't. The next one, AYTU. The AYTU, I saw you put it in as the symbol. I bought it and I sold it yesterday. I made a nice profit, 8 cents on 16,000 shares. Learning, got to take it off the table. It's a good thing I did. It's biotech stock. They came out with warrants after hours. Stock sunk. It really sunk. It went from the 70s down to the 50s.
Yeah, typically you're going to see that after a 3-day run. You'll see, a small cap sell off on the fourth day. But interesting here that this was a bit stronger than I expected. I thought maybe you still had quite a bit of upside left, right? We were still below the 50 RSI. This could have kept going if it had the buyers. But, I mean, obviously you had some guys who were sitting on quite a bit of profit, and they took it today.
Yep, they did. I want to ask you where this market's looking right now with the NASDAQ, especially the NASDAQ. I don't know. I think we can go lower.
Yeah, I'm saying it, and I completely believe it. I mean, we had it really good in 2017. You got a lot of stocks that are sitting up on quite a bit of profit. We're still ways away from the 200, and I think we're going to test it. And if we test it and fail it, then we're going lower, right? So we'll see if buyers can make a last stand, but that day is coming. It could be, we could see a slight pickup tomorrow, but that last stand day is coming. It is coming, and we're going to test that 200 on the Qs really soon. I think we can do it as soon as this week, honestly. We got 2 more days left. I think we can do it this week, if not early next week, to test that 200 and see if we're gonna bounce off that. We bounced off it very close to it in February. we're doing it again. And let's see if we have buyers at those levels. If we do find a nice bounce off of it, of course, then I think you go back long for the Qs and technology. But I suspect we break through it and start selling off, and we find that it is becoming a return to a stock picker's market. All right, so guys are going to have to go back to learning how to actually pick stocks now. You're not going to be able to just buy an index. You can't just run in and buy SPX and all of that. You're going to have to actually learn how to pick a stock and ride with it, because you're going to see massive amount of diversion where the companies that are really winning start winning and the companies that shouldn't have been winning start losing. And that's what it's going to be.
Guy Dami, Fast Money, he's been reiterating day after day, look at DB, David Boyd, that's Deutsche Bank. It keeps hitting new lows. It's the largest bank in Europe. Does that signify to you a credit crisis coming and that we really do need to be very careful?
Here's the thing. I've looked a little bit into it, and this is a serious thing right here, because I've read that their balance sheet at this bank is bigger than Germany can even provide to cover the situation if it is that bad, right? So this bank could literally take that nation under. I mean, in terms of going literally into bankruptcy and seeing what we had a couple years ago in Italy. Can the EU save it? Probably not. So DB is a very interesting story that we're not talking about the state side, because we're looking at it and saying, oh, that's a foreign bank. But good to him for bringing it up, because this is a story that we need to be learning a lot more about, because I think it could affect us, if this keeps getting lower or if it becomes the European version of Bear Stearns.
Yeah, that's wild. What's interesting, our 10-year Treasury, everyone was so worried about it going over 3%. We're down at 2.75 now. Interesting.
Yeah. You're running to Treasuries, and they're going to lower the rates because, they're getting the money anyway. So, you got guys out here leaving equities and running into these safe markets. But, I don't know. I think this is the beginning of something, Ken. I honestly feel it. I love to be proven wrong, but this could be the beginning of a solid drop. I mean, I'm talking, possibly an erasure of about 25% off the indexes. We'll see.
They're saying, we got earnings season. It's going to save us in mid-April and all that. We'll see. Because you also have issues with if there's going to be a credit crisis, currencies, who knows? It's not so simple.
But that gets back to why that tax thing was pushed. They talked about how they'll be able to really funny the numbers up for the next couple quarters. So I think you get, again, a few companies that are going to be able to show, some big, earnings. But I think financials, I don't see financials being able to put up the same numbers that they did in 2017, regardless of the tax plan. So that's going to be interesting to see how that, plays out. And I think you got some other companies out there. I mean, for example, what is Caterpillar going to put out? What are these big exporters that did really good in 2017? What are they going to show for that last quarter? It's going to be interesting to see, man. And I think, some people are going to be really excited, but I think some people are going to be left really disappointed that tax plan didn't have the effect that they think it was going to.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Very good. Thanks.
Appreciate
Sal.
it, Ken.
I'm going to listen.
Thank you. All right. So, look, we've been in a 10-year bull market practically. We've had a market on steroids for the last 10 years, and guys just want to see it go up, 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 up. It don't work like that. And I want to see the market come down. I'm a young man. I want to have my 2008. I want to have my 2009. I want to have my 1974. I want to have my 2001. I want to have my 87. You know what I'm saying? 206. What's up, man?
You've been talking about,
what's up?
We've been preparing for this D-Day for a long time. I've heard you made that comment before.
I want my opportunity, bro, to sit on something for 10, 20 years so I can turn around and be like, oh, shit, look at all this money I got. You know what I mean? Because I bought at the lows.
Right. And I totally feel you on that. I wanted to go back to that FUSD chart. And I started to say something yesterday, but from a technical standpoint, you can quite see what was going to happen. I mean, let me have you pull that chart back up.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. Give me 1 second, a little laggy here.
Hey, Savvy B Comedy, appreciate you. I hope you're a woman. Okay? She said I was handsome, so I don't need no brothers. Like, damn, I don't know if you remember, Mr. Lloyd. There was a brother who came in the chat room. He was like, damn, Sal, look at your lips. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Well, yeah, go back to what you were doing. Not to change the subject. Go back to what you were doing. It just brought me up when she said that.
So looking at this, you can already see that this is preparing for a fall. I mean, this is clearly a textbook play. And the first thing, I mean, you got the inverted hammer at the top, okay? I mean, you got the indecision, and then followed by a red candle, which is a bearish engulfing, and now you got the confirmation candle that came down the following day. I would have never went long on this.
Absolutely.
I don't care what news would have came out.
Absolutely,
it doesn't matter.
Absolutely, but so, I don't know if you heard the call, Mr. Lloyd, yesterday. I wanted them to hear what OTC hype sounds like, and I think people got that yesterday. But I mean, with that 85 RSI, the inverted hammer, the candlestick, it just was confirmation that this was going lower. And but again, I just wanted to put it out there for the people.
Well, and you guys got to understand, you're not playing against me, Sal, and bad scientists up in here in the morning. You're playing against computers. And these algorithms see these patterns. And so I don't care who's pumping how much money. I mean, it may have somewhat of an impact depending on what the float is. But if the float is large, your $200 or $1,000 is not going to impact anything. So you have to realize we're not playing against people. We're playing against computers. And these computers look at these candles, and they already made up in their mind. And so basically, you're fighting it. So they can come out with a piece of news, and this is still going to go down. I mean, this is clearly going to fall. Now, what I think here, if you put the Fibonacci retracements on here, this is potentially retracing back, because look at the large gain there. It's been gaining for. Is this the daily that we're looking at?
Yeah, it's the daily.
So if you put the fibs on there, are you familiar with the Fibonacci retracements?
I'm not familiar with that. I know Bats was on it for a little while, but I'm not familiar with the fibs.
So just go to add the fib to the lowest point of this newest trend, not the way at the bottom, but the lowest point of one of the green when it's moving sideways there.
Okay, let me see.
No, you Hold on. And I'm sorry, I know you don't like to give the lessons like this.
Yeah.
But basically,
let me see. Let me make sure. So I'll probably do it like somewhere around here.
Well, yeah. So it should be on the side where you can add a drawing, wherever it is. It's called. Let
me see. I don't know if I'm doing it right, because I might not be doing it right, but let me know if I set it up right with that.
So basically, yeah. Now take it to the top. Take it all the way to the top. To that of the doji, roll of that inverted hammer. Now, yeah, so I want you to put one at the bottom of the one of the lowest green candles and the highest candle at the top. So the lowest low and the highest high.
Okay. And then let me let me see if I can oh shit.
You gotta bring that chart down a little bit.
Yeah, hold on.
So you can draw it regular. There you go. All right,
damn.
And now take that the one to the left. You got it there.
God damn, it's not even letting me move it. Hold on. Okay, let me redraw it. All right, hold on. Fibonacci replacement. All right, can I start it here? God damn, shit. What? All right, sorry about this, guys. I know we got some white folks watching. He's like, oh, he doesn't know.
Here, bring that price down on the right. Just scroll it down on the right. There you go.
I don't understand how to control the bottom part, though. That's the thing that's pissing me off.
No, you got just click from point to point. So click the bottom.
See, hold on. Here's the bottom. But how do I fix the top, though?
Yeah. No, just put it on top of the candle. There it is. Just put it on top of the candle. There, right there. And then drag that bottom circle to the lowest green. There's another circle right there at 1.1. No, you got two circles. You got one for the top and one for the bottom.
Okay.
So,
right there. Is that right?
No, you need to put that one on top of the doji there, and then grab that other one in that corner and bring it to the lowest green. Great. Now, as you can see, it retraced back. There you go. It retraced back 50% of the move. So this is typical. So if basically it's going to bounce off there, it's going to go up. A green candle is going to form tomorrow. This is typical. Anytime you get a run like this on a regular stock, it's going to retrace back to the 50%. But if it goes beyond the 50%, then you're going to put a short in because they already made a determination. But as you can see, it went right to the 50% line. Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, very interesting. Okay.
So anything greater than 50. So let's say it opens up with that second candle and it goes lower to the 50. You're going to put in the short end. But this is what happens. You know, we as traders will get in at the top and think that some news is going to push us up. You're not going to beat the computers. That computer is going to bring it back to the 50% line and retrace, and then it's going to go back up. Everything needs to breathe. So I just wanted to say that there. I seen it yesterday, but I didn't want to, call nobody out, because everybody has different opinions, and so I don't want to be disrespectful about people's, trading style. But, I think this is pretty textbook. So we'll see tomorrow. I am predicting that a green candle will form from here, but we don't know because we have to see. So if it goes greater than the 50%, we're going to have a continuation.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so as you've seen today, Sal, let me tell you about my Robinhood experience. The Robinhood finally popped my cherry with some options.
Yes, I saw that email you sent me. That was nice.
Now, for you guys that only got $100 or $500, I turned $50 today into $151. All right, and basically you can buy some cheap options, but I wouldn't recommend new beginners to play options because you will get burned. Trying to trade on your phone and then not really understand the concept of options. So I traded GDX today, and I bought it at the opening because it gapped down. So I did the gap and go strategy. I bought it for 4 cents.
Okay.
And I bought 10 contracts at 4 cents, and I sold them at 12. So
calls or puts?
Actually, no, puts.
Okay, yeah.
So,
all right. So obviously,
yeah, and put it on the 15-minute.
Okay, 15-minute. All right. So you're playing those higher time frames now. Okay, this is the first 15 minutes. All right. So I do see it sold off in the morning.
Yeah, where's the first candle in the morning?
This is the first candlestick. This is at 9:30 right here.
I can't. Which one is it?
Right here, 9:30. It should. Let me zoom in on it. Can you see it?
Right. So I learned not to get in like that anymore because I always get burned. I usually wait until I see that second red candle, and then I wrote it down. Even though it wasn't a big move, if I had maybe $500 or $600 in that Robinhood account and wrote it down, I would have made a lot of money. But I only bought 5 or 10 contracts, so it was enough. But it's just something for people with small accounts. I think it's possible to do those type of options, and you don't have to feel intimidated where you have to feel like you have to buy Amazon for $300. So I bought these contracts at 4 cents. So I'm gonna try to build this particular account up with buying small options so people can have trade ideas that don't have a lot of money. Let me see. So my Bitcoin this morning, while I was trying to trade that, man, I was up in almost like $300 in profits this morning with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I saw you traded. What was that? XRT? What's that again?
No. So basically, that's how much XDT I had.
Okay.
So I ended up taking like 200 out of that, but I let it ride down. It was too much fluctuation going on. So I'm back in it right now. I'm sitting at $119 while I'm talking to you guys. But it's possible, man, to take a small account But it comes with maturity, and when you in that particular fuse stock, I don't care what news comes out. If you got a big ass red candle, unless they have some big ass buyout by Warren Buffett, just stick to the rules. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And don't force these trades. So that's really all I wanted to point out on, because I'm pretty sure Bass like, damn, look at that big ass gravestone doji up there. Who's gonna buy that?
Yeah.
So other than that, man, something else I wanted to ask you, I can't even remember. But yeah, want you to do some chapstick, man, so the guy can make sure you look at your lips and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'll keep you abreast of what's going on. If you guys got any questions, I'd definitely be willing to share. Don't feel intimidated, with having a small account. You just gotta. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sal. I don't care how many videos I watched over the years. I don't care how many people told me stuff to do or not to do. For some reason, you're still going to make those same mistakes regardless. I mean, even though you're supposed to, like right now, I'm looking at $130. Even though I'm supposed to be taking it out, I'm still looking at it. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't know, man. I can't seem to shake that. So don't feel bad, guys. I mean, I still continue to break my rules. But I think I'm becoming a little bit more mature, where I'm going to be able to really stick to it. But I mean, how often do you break your rules?
Well, I broke them a lot at the beginning, but now I write them down. And plus, I've watched, the Tim Sykes DVDs like 10 times, man. So that's at this point now, it's just almost like muscle memory to a certain extent. But yeah, I still make mistakes, dude. I'm still, I still make losing trades and whatnot. But again, from someone who's just been following his strategies for so long, I cut my losses short, and so it's harder for me to make beginner mistakes. But of course, I still, I still sometimes, get in a little bit too early, or disregard an indicator telling me to go in or to get out, and I say, oh, just a little bit longer, so yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now, a little bit longer. Yeah. And I don't like doing that. You're supposed to take your money when you see it, but shit, we feel so confident that it's going to keep going, and I don't know, man. But yeah, man, I'm in the queues right. Oh, Bass asked me for some option plays. Right now, I'm in the queues. I bought 5 contracts at 10 cents, the 150s. Okay. And I bought. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I just got lucky with the 10-cent contracts, so we'll see what happens.
You're buying puts on that or calls?
I bought puts around 11:30 today.
Okay.
So I thought damn, is that the queue? Yeah. I mean, look at that. And go back to that last one you just had.
Which one is that?
You just pulled up something a second ago. I don't know if there was an accident.
Yeah, it was EKSO. It was a short that I made today. Absolutely destroyed this one.
Here, go back to EKSO.
Okay,
it's the same scenario, and put the fibs on there, on that bottom to the top.
All right, daily right here on the daily.
Yeah, so it looks like it. Yeah, so yeah, you can go in the daily.
Okay, let me go ahead and put.
And it looks like it almost retraced back that whole. Here, and zoom out a little bit more. You want to get to the bottom of the trend.
All right, hold on.
Is that an OTC play?
EK? No. This is let's see. The trend started from here. This is it's a Nasdaq. EKSO's Nasdaq. Yeah, this is a Nasdaq. Definitely wouldn't have been able to get that much on that many.
No, you had it. No. Oh, okay, there you go.
All right, there we go. We got it on there.
All right, so as you can see, it's the same thing. It touched at 50%, right?
Yeah. Actually, that was yesterday. It touched it yesterday.
Right. And as you see, when it went halfway over that 50%, there's that continuation. Mm-hmm. Remember when I was just telling you that?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this should roll down to. It should go down to to the one down there? What price range is that in that bottom gray, that first line at the bottom gray?
This ends at 124, but it starts at 145.
No, the gray box.
Yeah, that's 145, like right below that bluish line right here is 145.
Yes. So it should go down to 145 now that it continued past the that there. So we'll see, man. But I just wanted to share the fibs with you, and I mean, there's no number one indicator, out there. So, but this definitely will help you to kind of get a price target, so you don't have to be fooled by, what the chat rooms are saying. That makes sense.
There it is.
But all right, brother. Well, have a good night. And Bats, I don't have any option plays, man. I'm just playing off the charts and just picking options from there. I mean, if you want to get in the queues, brother, you're more than welcome to join me, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
There it is. Appreciate you. Thank you
so
much.
Thanks, sir. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you. Right now, Bats. Yeah, I saw Bats' question. It's hard to look at a play right now. I mean, the things are so up in the air. It's very easy to throw up, a Facebook call for 6 months down the road, but you don't even know what's going to happen 30 days from now. I mean, we're looking for across the board possible bear market. I don't want to put that money out like that. I just took an L on Facebook. Luckily, I made it back with some EKSO, right? First red day situation. Killed that short today. I was really proud of myself on that one. Nasdaq, it was pretty liquid on the short side. Quite a bit of borrows on that stock this morning. 865, call me back, or wherever you were calling from. Call me back. All right, I still had Mr. Lloyd on the line, so I couldn't take your call. Give me a call back, 857. Call me back. All right, what's going on, Stock God? All right, there you go. 857, what's up?
Give me a call back, 857.
Hello? Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead and put me lower on the background, please.
I'm doing that right now. My fault about that. How's it going?
Good. Who am I speaking with?
Well, my name is Pink Penny, and it stands for Position Yourself in Knowledge. And it's Penny's Penny Stock, obviously, and that's my moniker. That's what I go by.
That's what's up.
But, okay, so today, Gern, Gern.
Mm-hmm.
So I got burnt on Gern, and immediately I recovered my losses, and I put some put options, and I actually made more than I lost. So it was a blessing. And then after it bounced, I put some call options, and so now close to being profitable on the call options. Okay. It's depending on how it goes tomorrow. So I was calling to see what you thought about Gern.
Well, I'm surprised a stock this cheap had liquid options.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
145. I got in at 145.
I'm surprised. That you would have gotten some options on something this cheap. But yeah, I mean, if that's the way it went, man. Let me see. Yeah, you gapped down, and it looks like you sold off, but then found some buyers there between 10:15 and 11. Yeah, I mean, if that's how it worked out, bro, I mean, it is what it is. But looking at that daily chart, just like some stocks we just pulled up, FUSZ, this had a really good run. You got to those high RSI levels yesterday, the day before. Yeah, I mean, 91, 92 was the high. So you kind of had to expect that this was going to sell off. We just had Mr. Lloyd, do a brief fib knowledge on us.
Yeah, that was good. I like those.
That was really good too. I'm going to look more into that. So that could have also been a really telling opportunity for you to probably see something that was oversold at those levels. So sure enough, buyers are taking profits. This has probably failed to 50% by now. And you had interesting dip buying, right? I mean, the stock got to as low as 343, but we just showed how on that daily chart between 10, 15, and 11, you had buyers there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
I took a big loss, and I ended up selling my shares in pre-market, and I took probably a 50-cent loss. Mm-hmm. But I was, because it was a panic, and so right away I recovered, and from that experience right there, it's like it don't make sense to buy stocks. I mean, I bought options and I felt way more safer. I traded way more better, and options to me is the way to go because you know exactly what you're gonna risk. You know. I mean, you do know when you buy stocks, super options. You know exactly what it is that your risk is gonna be. You know that maximum amount. So, I mean, I'm all the way for options, and I think right now is a good time for options. I don't know. I was calling to see, your opinion because I know you're more experienced, and so.
Well, I mean, I think it's either way. I mean, guys kill it, either way, But what I've noticed that typically guys aren't good both ways. So you're either really good with options or you're really good with stocks. So you just have to decide what do you want to be really good at. I've never seen a guy who's just killing it on both. I mean, he's either good at something or he's okay at another thing. So you're going to have to decide where do you want to put your attention and focus your energy in being better because you can't do them both. I mean, you can, but you're going to have to be good at one thing more than the other thing. So, I like options. I love the opportunity it gets you to play, again, more expensive stocks and take positions that otherwise I wouldn't be able to do going into straight stock. Especially when we're talking about verticals and some of the other interesting option setups. But, there are opportunities to make good money in straight stock too, right? With small caps and with OTCs. So it's all about what the company you're trading, that particular stock, and where the pluses and minuses are. But, again, you're going to have to focus as a trader on what do you want to be good at? What do you want to have something that's going to be just complementary to what you're good at?
True. 100%. Another thing, what do you think about EVEP? I had that stock and I sold it, and the majority of my fills got filled except for like 900 shares, which is only like $180, which is nothing. I'm not worried about, but it ran up and then it bounced back and consolidated. So I was wondering, what would you think about that?
EVEP, this 16-cent stock right here?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, man. I mean, actually got some decent volume, but as you see, it's a heavy morning kind of runner. It really dries up towards the end. Spreads get really wide. I can see here you got some drying up in the buying in the midday. I really can't tell you much on this one, man. Not my kind of play to really to decide on. I mean, I'm seeing crude prices moving nicely. Decent. I mean, if you were holding it, right, it was a 4.5% day. But that's not the prettiest candlestick if you're talking about wanting a bounce at these.
No, it was a day trade. I just like I said, only like maybe 900, which is $140 a share. Just only didn't get filled, so I made my profit. But that's all. I was just calling to get your opinion.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you again.
All right, cool.
Yes, indeed. 857. Appreciate the call. Yeah, man. I mean, I that journ, might want to look into that fib thing so you can be able to identify, a potential sell-off that could be looming. But that was a stock that was, as you can see here, gravely overextended. And I noticed we didn't bring it up. I don't remember us bringing it up yesterday. So looks like not too many people in here were watching GERN. Okay. Absolutely. 919, I think this is Bats. What's up, man?
This is Bats, sir. How you doing, Sal?
Good. What you got for us today, Bats?
Yeah, love Mr. Lloyd, love Ken. Ken is fearless, man.
Yeah.
Just because the stock went down today, it doesn't mean anything. All that is a pullback. How much money has Ken made for people?
Right.
So Ken should not worry about
anything.
A temporary drop in FUSD. I love the fact that he came back. He's bouncing. Yeah. He's resilient. I mean, you've made us a lot of money. I mean, I can't even mention, all the stocks you've made money for people, from PRED, from POTN. I could list a multitude of stocks. So I just want to encourage Ken and say, hey, maybe it was his friend that he brought onto the show yesterday.
Ken is just smart. I know Ken. Ken is very smart.
Yeah.
He's very intelligent. I know Ken knew what was possibly going to happen, but Ken let his friend dig his own grave. And that's Ken. So I appreciate
Ken.
But,
Ken is.
you know,
Yeah. Ken, I could never. I mean, you're my top guys on this show. To be honest, you, Ken, and then David from Investors Hangout. I could never fault you guys because you've actually made us more money than, you know, everyone else in the trading community put together. So, Ken, just stay positive.
Yeah.
Keep telling us what picks you have because you've done a great job. So don't disappear. I love the fact you came back, you called, you said, hey, the stock is down. We're not fortune tellers here.
Right.
We're not fortune tellers. Our aim here is to make money, and if the stock doesn't go your way, you cut your losses.
It is what it is. And you show up and you're back at the show, you know, the next day. There are many times I don't get it right, but I'm back live the very next night. You know what I mean? I'm not shutting the phone lines off. I'm not doing it. We're back right here to discuss. So I give a lot of respect to him because we've had a lot of guys show up here, give a ticker, it goes wrong, and then they disappear. But Ken's come back over and over and over again. I appreciate you for that, man.
Ken is great, and you know what, Sal? Your show brought out Ken. I would never have even known about Ken if it wasn't for your show. I mean, and like I said, you yourself, you've made us more money than you've lost us money. So if you're wrong on one or two occasions, come on. So anyway. I'm gonna put you to the test today, Sal. So, first point, what is it gonna take for you, Sal, to come out to Vegas and meet a group of us, you know, dedicated loyalists? Because I know I've tweeted this and you've kind of avoided the issue. A Vegas trip or wherever, a place of your choice where we can meet a few of us traders, all your loyal supporters. What is it going to take for us to meet? Because we're virtual friends, right? But we haven't actually met each other. What is it going to take?
I mean, that's something we can definitely do. You know, just per my schedule, it would be something that I probably would want to do toward the end of the year. Then something like next week or something like that, because I do have a trip planned a month from now. But that's something we can do, man. I've never been against that. I've never been against that idea. But I am kind of like hesitant because people are weird, and you know what I mean. You don't really know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but that's something that I know. I think I'd love to entertain. You know,
the reason I'm actually, going public with this is that, so DM me on Twitter. Let me know what your schedule is like, what it will take, because I don't think, and I've spoken to you about this before in a few shows where I'm like, you shouldn't have to pay for anything. If I have to pay out of my own pocket for your hotel, for your food, for anything like that, I think we're at a time now, because you've been doing this for quite a few number of years. So we've got Ross Cameron, we've got Warrior Trader meeting up with, his posse. We've got, Tim Sykes. Why can't we meet up with Sal, the man? So what I'm saying to you is that look at your schedule, tell me when you're free, and I can, try and get some kind of thing going on so we can meet those of us who are really serious about meeting the American investor, Sal, and we can meet up and just for a weekend, maybe one of those long holidays. But, that aside, I had like some questions for you, so I'm gonna put you on the spot when it comes to options. I wanted to know like your criterion. So I know right now you're using black box a lot for your options picks, and it's a great gig. Like, I mean, you've made a lot of money off of them since you started using, that site. Assuming you didn't have black box, or can you just walk us through, like, for your options plays, what makes you decide, okay, this is a good options play, this is not a good options play? I just wanted to, like, pick your brain on that.
Sure. So let's do a recent trade, which was, those of you guys who watch my Twitter closely, which was MU. All right. So MU, and those of you guys who know, when I really get hard into the option space, I love trading options on the hourly. I mean, the hourly is really where I like to be, and the hourly provides me with really, really good candlesticks that a lot of more trustworthy than I think you would see on like a 5-minute, 10-minute. Why? Because they're longer, and they're, it's more accurate and really cuts out the noise. Now, for those of you guys who've gotten those videos that I had already had for well over a year, but I finally kind of put them out there, not really being fearful of any copyrights and stuff like that. I had been using a strategy that implements the RSI, but more importantly also the MACD. And the gig is that I'm looking for, because I'm short bias, I'm looking for a stock that will be breaking below the 50 RSI on an hourly chart that is also crossing in the MACD as well. So I'm looking for a breakdown. Let's go ahead. Let's get the cross out, because I don't even use, I use the cross during my daily trading. So I'm looking for, and I'm showing you perfectly this the same way. RSI cross, MACD cross, 50, 50 cross below, and there I'm going short here on this. This is basically all I'm doing. So every single time, right? Every single time, and then you can pull this up on any chart, up or down. You will notice, right? If it's a stock with good volume, you will notice that the 50 RSI on a 60-minute chart going up or down is a really good entry to an option call or put. And that is basically what I'm looking to look for on an option. So we can find, for example, the recent move in Amzn, right? The recent move in Amzn, if you look at the 60-minute chart, and I pulled this up too today, I saw it was a missed opportunity, but I didn't know what the hell was going on. Amzn, Amzn, right? So you have the 50 RSI cross. Now, the MACD alerted you a little bit late. It was almost an hour later. But the RSI showed you that, hey, this is going negative. This was an opportunity for you to get in on a really great put. And you found yourself almost $100 in the money on a possible option attempt. So the 60-minute chart on an hourly with the 50 RSI cross, MACD cross, it just works. It just works. And you got to know your candlesticks for this, though.
What made you decide on the 60-minute as opposed to like the daily or the 15-minute or the the 5-minute?
Too much noise.
Okay.
For example, I remember trading things like AMD, right? And AMD. Let's look at a 5-minute, right? On AMD, just way too much noise. It can really fuck you up. On an AMD, let's go back in the past a little. This is the 23rd, something like this, right? I mean, just all over the map. 5 minutes are up. Next thing, it's just way too much noise. I don't know, and options cost money, right? I mean, going in these trades back in and out, I don't have time to do something like this. So a 60-minute chart cuts the noise down significantly. Right, significantly, and you can get even more accurate by something using an even higher time frame, like the daily or guys who use monthly charts. Right, I don't have that kind of patience. I'll admit to you, I don't have that kind of patience. But it works even here. For example, here's a weekly chart, AMD. Right, MACD cross, RSI cross, you buy a put here. This is a weekly chart. So you would hold, every single candlestick is a week. You would hold that put, right? So obviously, if you're buying, or if you're trading on a weekly, you're using monthly options. So you're using about 4 or 5 candlesticks to really kind of determine your move here. So understand, this is a weekly. We're breaking below the 50, MACD cross. You're going to hold this put all the way down. And by the way, if you get close to expiration, you cash and then you go right back in, right? You're still beneath the 50 RSI. Your MACD is still negative. And if you know about MACD, you know that the difference between the moving averages, 12 and 26, shows you how strong the strength of the move is. So you continue to stay in that put, all right? So you get back into that put and continue to go down, 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 down. Now, here's the thing. You don't necessarily just stay in the trade as long as it's below the 50. This is where you implement a moving average strategy. There it is. And I prefer the 10. So the 10, for those of you guys who got that book that I was passing out by, forgot his name, I want to think it's like Richard Burns. If you guys remember that 101 option strategy book, or 101 moving average strategy that I was putting out, the 10 EMA is for short-term trades. That's literally what he calls it.
Correct.
The short-term trade EMA, and that's the 10. So I would use that along with my MACD and my RSI to keep me into the trade. Now, when it breaks above on this weekly chart or whatever time frame you're in, that's my sell. I would sell at that point. Now, let me show you a trade that I'm in now that I'm not using options for because it's not that liquid. All right?
Okay.
I'm in right now SOXC. By the way, I presented this article to you guys yesterday. I wrote it on my blog. And this, we just got done talking about breaking the rules and stuff like this. I'm a little bit in here early, but because I understand that this is something that I know is going to sell off. So XOXS, I'm in this. Let's go up. Let's go in here on the daily. Let's go back on the daily. There it is. XOXS. So I have my MACD cross. I have my daily cross, right? My RSI cross. By the way, let's get back to my favorite chart. Excuse me. I keep breaking here. There we go. All right. So I'm in here on the hourly. And by the way, this strategy you can use for stocks as well. I'm showing you guys that right now. So MACD cross, RSI cross. RSI can be sometimes of a laggard, but sometimes it can get you in early as well. But now I'm in this trade, and I'm going to stay in this trade unless that 10 moving average gets broken up. I'm going to stay into this trade, and I'm not going to get out of this trade until that 10 moving average breaks that hourly line. And that's why this strategy, in my opinion, is one of my favorite ways to trade. And that's why I'm going to continue to stay long in XOXS.
Nice. So that exponential moving average, it must be pretty close to the 8 exponential, though, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a 10, so 8 is going to be a little bit closer. Let me see if I change this real quick to 8. It'll be a little tighter, It'll be a little tighter.
Right.
It's just a little tighter. That's all.
You're just giving yourself more
a little
leeway.
More leeway, a little bit more leeway. I used to use, because if you remember, I used to use your 4 and 8 quite a bit, but I found myself getting out of trades a little bit too early when I could have waited, sometimes another day or two, and I was finding myself losing a couple $100 in profit that I could have got if I waited just a little bit longer. So this is a really great, RSI MACD strategy where, I might not get the complete move, right? I'm always a little bit late, right? So, I mean, this could be a 5 and it might get me even in earlier, but that's okay. I'd rather be a little bit late and right than being early and wrong constantly. So I like this strategy because it puts a little bit more on the indicators and me just kind of following these short-term trends and being able to profit off them.
That's so cool. I find it interesting. Yesterday you were talking about Sears, and you're like it's just like J.C. Penney. Guess what? So J.C. Penney actually made my screener today. Both J.C. Penney and SHLD. So I found that quite interesting. You're like, okay, these are companies that are literally on their last breath of life. And you said that yesterday, and then today on my scanner, J.C. Penney met the scanner because it actually looks like it's recovering.
Yeah,
as well.
it actually looks like it's recovering. So, but at the end of the day, we know what e-commerce is, and that it's taking over the retail landscape. You're always going to have stores. You're always going to have businesses out there where you actually go in person to get products and services. But, are we going to have these companies that have 600, 1,000, 2,000 stores that are, 12,000 square feet and have, 300 employees? Right. I think that time of retail is going away. So, I think these are some laggards that may be having some kind of short-term bounce. But I think, 5 years, 3 years, or, down the road, I don't know if JCPenney or Sears are still around. If they are around, I figured they're trading for even lower valuations than they are now. That's my.
And then we had some loner gold stock, LOLD. You've talked about this like till you were blue in the face, like in terms of gold stocks. LODE, load.
Yeah.
This one seemed to be the only gold stock that actually had anything going for it today. Yeah, and I don't know what the catalyst was for that.
I'm not sure what the catalyst is here on this one too as well. But this one went bullish today. I mean, obviously this is a very it's a very bearish overall trend. So this, I'm not sure. You're gonna have to really do some research on how accurate this. Let me get back to the arrow. How accurate this move could be and how long it'll last. And the volume too lends me not to believe that this could be credible for at least enough time that I'd be interested in it. But LODE, nice move today though, regardless of 20.
And there's your low RSI doji right at the bottom. You've talked a lot about that. Actually.
Yeah, that's actually right. That's very interesting. Yeah, so that's actually your in if you were willing to get bullish on that, and you're just pure candlestick trader. That's your in right there. So nice move on that, especially on that second hour where you're seeing the bullish confirmation on the 1-2.
Yeah, appreciate it, Sal. So DM me. Okay, all you need to do, Sal, and I don't want to put you on the spot. Just let me know what weekend you're free, you're available. Let me sort out the rest. I think it's time now that the American Investor Show, we actually have a group of people that meet. So just DM me and let me know what weekend looks good for you, and then I can take it from there.
Appreciate you, Bats. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Love the show, sir. Keep up the good work.
So shout out to Bat Scientist. All right. He wants to meet up, and that's cool. We can do that. You know what I mean? But, I consider myself an asset to the people. So y'all going to have to hire some of them Allah Akbar brothers to, make sure that, they watch my back when I'm out there in public. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, brothers like me are rare out here. Appreciate you, Bats, as always, bro. Thank you so much. All right. My MACD setting is a standard setting. Is the standard 1226 setting, DeAndre. Standard setting. Yeah, those videos that I got from them, I've had those for quite a while now, almost 3 years. And for those of you guys who remember, I was putting out a lot of Tim stuff, and then Tim came after me about it. So I was hesitant to put Nem stuff out when I got it. But now that I see he's not even teaching anymore, I figured let me go ahead and put out those videos. And they've been very helpful to people. And it's a great strategy where you're using indicators, you're following short-term trends. And, again, you can go longer with them. You can go longer with them by using, higher time frames and even make more money. As you can see, moving averages are for the most part right. They are right. It's just human nature. We're impatient. We like to think that we know better, and we continue to make moves. We continue to make moves against our own best interests sometimes. He said, let's meet at Hooters. Stockerfeller, he said, got her back. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Bats, we'll get on that. You're right. We'll get on that. I mean, these guys are holding seminars and stuff like that, and I think that's a really good opportunity for us to get in front of each other. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and then we'll have, I don't know about speakers, but maybe each of us can just kind of present some investment ideas for the long term. And I'm hoping that whenever this does take place, we're in a hard bear market, man. I want to be in a hard bear market. I want to be in a recession. You know what I mean? I want to be in a not a depression, because depression is, that people start killing each other just for food and shit. I ain't trying to be in nothing like that, but I want to be in a hardcore recession. I want to be in something like that, because that's when you just start looking for, real gold opportunities. I'm talking, 2002 Netflix $9. I mean, you know what I mean? That's where you find that opportunity where, to get rich. Mr. Lloyd said he's so poor. Yeah, right. All right, let's get back to your tickers, man. Let's get back to your tickers before we get out of here. Again, I fully believe that we're going to continue to see bearish action in the markets. Ken told you, what's going on. Treasury is getting cheaper because they're bringing in volume. Guys are running to safe havens, right? Guys are running to safe havens. We got some trouble going on, and European banks, right? That can definitely affect us. We know and understand that for those of you guys who studied what happened in 2008, you understand that it started off with banks failing in Iceland, right? And it was just a ripple effect, the Iceland economy, and it just kind of rippled across Europe, and then it got here, right? It got here. Eventually ended up starting on this side with Bear Stearns. And Bear Stearns tried to find a lifeline with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs said, I don't want those CDOs. And what happened? Bear Stearns basically went belly up and ended up getting bought out by JP Morgan at $2 a share. This is a company that was trading at, I think the 100s, like 2 or 3 weeks earlier. So interesting story. And there are quite a few documentaries on the 2007 collapse. Yeah, I don't want 1929. 1929 was kind of scary. I mean, that's if you read about what happened in 1929, there were like food lines and shit like that. I don't know that Americans are that disciplined today to handle a food line. You're gonna have guys just pull up to the line with 45s and. It's going to be crazy, man. America was very different in 1929. People, respected the government, respected the laws. Here, we don't give a damn about laws now. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Jeff? How often do you find OTCs to short on SureTrader? Yeah, I tried SureTrader, and I didn't like it, man, because SureTrader will close a short on you. They don't even tell you. They'll just straight up close it. I'm at Interactive Brokers now. If you get a short, it's yours for as long as you want it, right? But SureTrader will just straight up close a short on you, and just no reason. They'll just close it on you, and I wasn't feeling that. He said in 1920 the Dow sank to like $79. Damn. Yeah, too big to fail. That's another good one, Terry Cherry. Too big to fail. New bubble, student loans, consumer credit. Yeah, that's a big one. Student loans especially. student loans. This whole economy is a Ponzi scheme. If you follow me on my Instagram, I talk about that a lot. This economy is a Ponzi scheme, man, and we run on IOUs and debt laden U.S. dollar, and that's how we keep the economy going. You come out of school with 50 grand in debt, right? You go to the bank gives you 300K, so you got the debt, and then you got the money for the loan, and then you just try to survive any way you can. Any way you can. And you never really get out of debt. You're just continuing to cycle the debt over and over again. People don't even pay off their house anymore. If you bought a house after 1995, most people don't even pay off their house anymore. You gotta be a really, either wealthy person or someone who's just studious about paying off debt. You don't even pay off houses. We don't even pay off houses anymore. The days of your parents or your grandparents leaving you, an asset that was paid off that you can move into or sell and profit. That's very rare, depending on, of course, the neighborhood you live in and what. I mean, if you live in a bad neighborhood, it's even worse. Even if that neighborhood doesn't even have high crime, they just say, oh well, this particular neighborhood assets don't increase here. So it is what it is. Said the gay bodybuilder dude. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's back again. Yeah, just block him if you see him. You guys are mods. You can block. All right. What's even more about the student loan bubble is that many students use their loans to invest in crypto. You know what? It's so interesting you say that, because if I was in school and I was getting those checks, right, like I was getting when I was in school and living off the GI Bill. Shout out to One Gunner. One Gunner signed up to be a Patreon, $5 a month. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah, I would have probably used my money, thinking about the way I was thinking at the time. I probably would have used my money for crypto, because I know a lot of guys in school were probably doing that, right? Yeah, early 20s. I mean, that's the demographic. That was the demographic. And it's so sad to see cryptocurrency where it is now, but you still got, like Mr. Lloyd saying, you still got some guys out here trading it. Travel Centers of America. Oh, this stock is a joke, man. It's not going anywhere. I heard somebody told me about the summer driving season to possibly look at TA. Summer driving season, crude definitely tends to move, but this Travel Centers America stock, and quite a few of you have stopped at these Travel Centers America. They've got places to eat and shit like that, but this thing is actually not doing a goddamn thing. And I'm looking at, last May actually sold off. You had a nice move in July, a couple days. What was that, from 360 to 440? But not, this stock's been really struggling. It's been really, really, really struggling. And where are we? We got to be below the 200. Yeah, well, yeah, it's below the 200, and yeah, this stock isn't looking too pretty. Yeah, SOXS is a nice stock. Again, I think it has options, but they're pretty illiquid. I think semiconductors are overbought and overweight. Overweight probably is the better word. And also, when I look at U.S. dollar yen or Chinese yuan, yuan I think is CNY. Yeah. So when I look at U.S. dollar yuan, U.S. dollar goes up, yuan going down. So as we can see, the U.S. dollar is losing value against the yuan. I pointed this out yesterday on the show. So we're literally watching the devaluation of the United States dollar. That's kind of another selling point they were trying to sell on Bitcoin too. It's like, oh wow, look at Bitcoin USD is showing that the dollar is losing value. This is really what you want to be looking at, because you're seeing the Chinese currency become more valuable than the U.S. dollar, right? As we continue to lose value in the U.S. dollar, and it's now hitting record-setting multi-year lows. We're basically here. The This is a 2015 low right here. All right, is this 2014? Yeah, this is the 2015. Where's the 2015 low? Right about here. All right, so we're approaching the 2015 low. That's a 3-year breakdown on the U.S. dollar. So my theory is that, okay, so if these companies are producing these products in China with the expectation that China labor is cheaper, right, and they get a currency advantage, that advantage eventually dries up because the value of the dollar is getting less, and that changes, right? That changes the bottom line for these companies that are producing products in China. We're talking about margins getting significantly thinner as the value of the dollar changes. We're talking about possibly some of them having to relocate or shut down entirely, right? As well as on the Chinese side, people, they're making more money. They're going to be demanding more money. So that changes a lot. That changes a lot. And I think that has a huge effect on our side of the global economy. And I want to be short. Technology stocks in particular for the long term. Absolutely, Mr. Lloyd. I believe America becomes it turns around. So we instead of becoming that finance, we can't do manufacturing, we're too good for manufacturing, we become a manufacturing economy again. You'll see China probably move into a lot more technology and things like that. I don't think we become a third world country, but I think we return to a place where we haven't been in a long time. Right? Yes, indeed. We haven't been in a long time. Well, I trade under a corporation. I rather don't give legal advice on here, but I trade under a corporation, and I've talked about that a lot on the show. And then I have an accountant, and he does all that stuff. I got the Mile IQ and all that. The software and a whole bunch of stuff that tracks. And I bring him all my paperwork, and he puts it together. And being a trader, at the end of the year, you typically have to pay out, right? You're not going to get a check. You know what I mean? Just forget the idea of you coming and getting a check from the government. Typically, you're going to pay out, but it's not a lot, right? Especially if you're the type of guy who's not living off every dollar you make. It's not a lot, but you're not getting a refund, right? You're a business owner. You're not getting a refund, typically, especially if you don't have employees. You're not getting a refund. U.S. dollar is replaced as the world reserve currency. Yeah, I got an article coming out tonight. I got an article coming out tonight on how to short the U.S. dollar using ETFs, and I got an ETF. So that's saying there's an app for that. There's another saying for for the ETF. There's an ETF for that, right? There's an ETF for that, and one of them. I'm not going to give you all of them today, but one of them, and these tend to not to be as, these tend to be a little bit more, illiquid. Not so you're not day trading these. These are stocks you're going to, ETFs that are indexes, ETFs that you're going to have to be in for some time, right? You're going to have to be in for some time. And again, as I mentioned, this is bearish, the U.S. dollar. This is the Pro Shares, same company that does QQQ. And a couple of the other ones that we look at here constantly, SOXS, I think is also Pro Shares. But this is a bearish U.S. dollar index. Now, this is not leveraged. I got some other leveraged ones that I'm going to put on the article. But as you can see here, we broke that 2015 high on this bearish ETF. So we're getting into bearish territory and moving higher on UDN on this. So you're going to have to take, again, a long-term view on something like this. Let me go to the weekly. I think that it looks a little bit better on the weekly. Here it is. That's much better. All right. even monthly, I think is even prettier than that if you really want to be honest. There it is. All right. So as you can see here, showing a little bit. So I like it. We're just getting back into it here. It really broke in and kind of showed that commitment back here in what month is that? November. In November. So we're still fighting it. We're still fighting it, but I think we're in the beginning of something new here. We're in the beginning of something new here. So I'm watching it. I'm not invested yet. I'm not investing yet. As I told you, I'm heavy in that semiconductors ETF. But I'm liking UDN. All right. Nah, Mr. Lloyd, these are not day trades, bro. I'm trying to get out that day trade mentality because again, I love it, right? I love the in and out, but I gotta have something in my portfolio that I can just sit there, and as long as the moving averages support the move, then it can continue to grow. I can't just keep using and just going in and out, in and out, in and out. That's great, but I gotta have a portfolio that's diversified to a certain extent. I don't, that word for a lot of day traders is but I wanna have something sitting and growing. I want to have something sitting and growing. All right? Because that's why 2017 for a lot of traders was a missed opportunity. And I say that to myself, because if I had an opportunity to look back, especially toward the end of 2016, right, just in and out trades, in and out trades, in and out trades, when I look at 2017, you look at some of the moves, right? For example, let's see SOXL, right? The semiconductor ETF, all right? This is the bull. This is that. When we look at some of these, like the 2016, here's 2016, all right? Let's take I think the 100 even actually gets you in there way too early. Let's go back to a weekly, all right? Let's go back to a weekly, all right? And you look at some of these opportunities, to trade some of these, getting back to a strategy again, respecting that 50, that RSI crossover. Then you put your money somewhere, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and you just kind of sit it there. You're growing the rest. You're still trading, right? You're still trading. You're still, in and out, blah, blah, blah. But you got some money somewhere that's parked that's doing what it's got to do. That's doing what you got, So that's my mentality now. Because I got a little girl that's getting older. I don't mind the trading. I'm always going to be making money trading, promoting, doing whatever I'm going to. But I want to have a nest egg, that's really doing its thing. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say on that. Absolutely. You said Siri is your long-term growth stock? Yeah. You got to have one. You got to have one play. You got to have that one play that you've done some research on now. Preferably, like I said, I'm liking the ETF thing because, single stock risk is a lot different. If I'm putting in, something for the long term, I'd prefer the indexes, but SIRI, interesting technology, very, a good service, by the way, beautiful service. I love, I can't go back to radio. I mean, I've been in some cars again with people who just don't have satellite. It's just the same 5 or 6 songs, and it's a disaster. Ghetto stock trader, yeah, I appreciate you, bro. This is gonna sound racist as fuck, but I'm trying to create generational wealth on a white folks level. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, man. And sometimes you gotta, you gotta be responsible with money and say, look, I'm not going to put this money at risk. I'm going to sit it aside. I'm going to, continue to invest in it and pour money into it. But I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm going to put it somewhere responsibly, and get it popping, man. Corey Kwan. Yeah, absolutely, Corey. Absolutely. Absolutely. You see it on the Jewish level. Oh, man. He said on the Jewish level. Here's the thing about that, because many of the times Jewish wealth is built on real estate. I think there's a big real estate collapse coming. So the opportunity to get into real estate is coming, but I don't think it's now. I don't think it's now. I think you got real estate in America is way overbought, especially when you're talking about West Coast real estate, even East Coast real estate. I'm looking at some of these properties like in DC, like in the hood, 400,000, 500,000. And this is blocks away from a crack house, like literally around the corner. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's crazy. So I think we got a big collapse coming in real estate. And after that, when that happens, then you jump in, right? For example, if you were a smart guy, you got into real estate 2008, 2009, that's when, you could have really got it popping. 2008, 2009, during a recession is where you start snatching shit up. Right now, if you jump in real estate, you're buying at the top, depending on what neighborhood you're in, right? Now, if you like war zone properties, you're always going to get a deal. You can always negotiate a deal. But if you're trying to buy, apartments in great neighborhoods, good school districts, whatnot, you're paying a premium now. You're paying a premium now. And by the way, speaking of real estate, the real estate ETFs popped off today. I got to find out why. As HT, is this the one you're talking about? HT? There's another ugly looking chart, man. Yeah, the real estate ETFs popped off today. I was wondering why that was. I think RWR is probably a nicer one, the Wilshire ETF. It popped off today with a real nice candlestick. I noticed that. It hit my scanner. I'm like, damn, okay, real estate, which had been pretty bearish, right? Showing a bit of weakness. And I showed you guys earlier in the week how if you pull out the 200, they're fighting for that 200. This is 2007, right? We got beneath the 200, and then boom, we dropped. So we're fighting to get back above it, right? So we had a nice day today, but we could be just going through a bull trap and could be, again, still underneath that 200 on the weekly. We're still in a danger zone for all I care. We're still in a danger zone for all I care when we talk about real estate. It says Syracuse, New York got cheap real estate. Yeah. All right, so last few tickers and we'll get up out of here. Here's the thing, real estate in the hood is always going to be cheap. But it's just that people, it's your neighbors and it's the community, right? I mean, I know people who'd love to live in the hood, but it's the people, and it's not everybody. It's that 5-10% that make it a very tough place to live for the 90 to 95% that mind their own business, that work hard, pay their bills. It's that 5 to 10% that the 95% know. They know who these people are. All right? They know who these people are, but they protect them. They, shelter them. And that's what makes it hard. What's the name of the guy on eBay? Again, let me get that guy who had the videos, right? The guy who had those videos, right? Let me see. I can't remember. Let me see. I'm going to have to find it. I can't remember his name. I'm going to have to find it. Email me, happypennystocks@gmail.com. I'm going to have to find that for you, bro. Because he had the warrior trading videos and whatnot. I'm going to have to find that for you real quick. Let me see. I think what was his name? Yeah, I'm going to have to find that for you. So email me at happypennystocks@gmail.com. AYTU selling off. AYTU selling off. Go ahead and make sure you put that Fibonacci retracement thing on it to see where it stands. Yeah, that was a bullshit chart. That when we look at it on the weekly or a higher time frame, is definitely a bullshit chart. You said Riot looks good for a blockchain. Riot blockchain, boy. You guys remember that move Riot blockchain made? Man, they were so... I remember that, dude. It was just like a spurt of like 2 weeks when any company that came out and said they were Bitcoin related just went nuts. All right. Now I think maybe a short would be too dangerous on Riot, just because you could have any day, something could really blast off. If you are, put get in with like some small size and then add up as it continues to go lower. But I wouldn't go in now with just that full position. So I would size in on this one, because now you're talking about something that's greatly oversold, and they know you're short, right? They know that the float is significantly short at these levels. So they could do, if you remember, like an HMNY, where they look for, they just wait for charts just like this, right? You remember HMNY? They will wait for you just like this. And then the chat room will catch you slipping, man. They'll catch you slipping. And next thing you know, you're running out of the trade as it goes against you and supporting the pump. You've been waiting for it to run. Here's the thing on GE. Because you remember GE was running on yesterday the Warren Buffett rumor. It was running on that Warren Buffett rumor. So interesting to see GE, although quite a bit of volatility with that. It pulled all the way back to the 1309. Got to as high as 1395, so quite a bit of volatility today on GE. But still, Green Day regardless, up 1.79%. 1.79%. All right. CBIO. Somebody said that's an opportunity to short. Yeah, CBIO could be. I see it testing some of those lows in there. CBIO breaking below that 50. RSI here on the daily. All right. MACD showed you weakness way back in February. So right now, yeah, we got quite a bit of diversion showing here on CBIO. So about time the chart should snap any day now. Any day now, unless you have the company. You remember there was a ticker I was looking at, INFN or something like that, INFN, where they're buying their own stock. This is a stock that should have dropped, a few weeks ago, but they're buying their own stock to maintain it. So CBIO, INFN, this is another one that I'm looking as a possible short. All right, this is one I'm looking at as a possible short. I watch this every single morning to see if we're going to get that capitulation that we got like today on EKSO. So this is another one that I can tell you right now, it's probably $2-3 you might be able to get on this in that first day. Who knows? All right. Volume real low. What was that on CBIO? Yeah, but here's the thing, though. On a red day, it's going to come in. that volume is going to come in on that sale, because you got to understand people's stop losses get triggered, so it's going to come in, right? On an overbought stock, I don't care about what I'm looking at where the position of the chart is, where it's at, if I think it's going to snap, things like that. That intraday volume doesn't matter, because when it sells off, especially when you're talking about a NASDAQ, people's stop losses getting hit as it goes down, you're going to get the volume. So it doesn't matter. All right. Yes, indeed. CBIO float is 4 million. Yeah, that's what's keeping it up there, though. That's another addition to why it's still up there. It's got a really nice tight low float. I'm sure it's got significant insider ownership. All right, so it can hold. It can hold. That's a very similar example to Roku. For those of you guys who know Roku, I was fighting personally for Roku for weeks, and eventually I had to admit defeat. I ended up taking a loss of $750, if you guys remember that, right? Because I underestimated that float and how powerful a low float can keep a stock running that's overvalued for a long, long time. Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham talk about it in their book, The Intelligent Investor, and how stocks that are low float, even if they're overvalued, they can stay running for weeks, months, even years at a time. And it just so happened that Roku had another 20 to 30 million shares be able to open up. So buyers who had invested in the company previous to the IPO could finally take their shares and go into the open market and sell. And that opened up literally by the end of March. I think it was, no, not end of March, end of February. I want to say it was the end of February. And now we're seeing that sell off in Roku as the float becomes, significantly higher or more. And now guys are able to take short positions against the stock. You say you still like Roku? Some guys still like Roku. They, the numbers that they put out weren't that bad. I mean, people, ironically, are buying Roku. Now, here's the thing. The valuation, though, that's a different story. The valuation was a different story. You got to understand that at its high point, $58, $60, it had, I think it had a valuation that was, I want to say 25% of Netflix. So you had to say, and the question that Andrew Left had made when he tried to come at the stock was, is this really a company that is as a quarter as valuable as Netflix? Right? I don't remember the exact number. You're gonna have to read his post on Roku at the time. But as you can see, he turned out to be right. And there's an epic CNBC interview with Andrew Left and this lady. And she's doing a poor job of really trying to explain why Roku is a $60 stock. And he basically destroys her on this CNBC interview. It's epic. You got to watch it. And go figure, as you can see here now at 31 and testing, possibly getting to as low as 23 over the next couple weeks. All right. Class action lawsuit on Riot blockchain. Yeah, you'll see that quite a lot. On any stock that sells off aggressively, you'll see, law firms announce, right? They basically are looking for people who want to move forward in that direction. They may not actually have a case. They just want interested parties to come forward. HEAR. What's going on, Dr. Butterfly? Who put up HEAR? Oh, that was Andrew. Okay, Andrew just passed the 200 moving average on a nice green candle. Let's take a look at it. Oh, yeah, nice day on that. Ooh, that's very bullish. Very bullish. Let's see here. Again, the hourly would have got you in there quite a while ago, but as you can see, okay, this is another one that, all right, so you can see the lack of liquidity really gave the stock, lack of liquidity. Oh, so it was only trading like 200,000 shares. I would find out what the news is, right? So you got quite a bit of new volume coming in here. You want to see it holding, right? You want to see that this new money is actually going to stick around and that these are not day traders. So nice candlestick, right? That's a beautiful looking candlestick. 73 on the RSI, so you're pretty hot. There's a lot of new money. As you can see here, the new money tends to not stick around very long, right? I'm seeing very similar candlesticks in the chart. So, yeah, I would figure and make sure first that they're going to stick around. Very bullish, but let's see them stick around. Figure out what the news is surrounding, the last 2, 3, 4 days there of nice moves higher. Yeah. Appreciate you, CC Culp. All right. Here, float 22 million. Liga here had a nice day. Absolutely. Ascend Trader was talking about it. Hey, Corey, does Ascend Trader charge? Does he charge a monthly rate? And again, I don't have any against any guy who's charging money if they're putting out a good product. LIGA, 6.4%. Liga is one of those, I don't know what it is. I mean, guys come in the chat room and bring up Liga, and I have a call-in line. I don't close a call-in line, and I haven't had anybody call up and tell me what the hell Liga is, what they do, what's the investment proposition moving forward, because it's an OTC stock, and we know what those can be sometimes. Appreciate you, Andrew. All right. RSI, IGA, Strikeforce Technology. Let's look at RSII real quick. RSII, Rising India. Yeah. Oh, looks like this was a pump. Shit. RSII had a nice couple days there, man. Had a nice couple days. I remember Ken talking about it, but as you can see here, MACD cross, RSI fail here. This is the daily, so this isn't looking too pretty for Rising India. I hate to do this to them, but gotta give them a flush. This is looking pretty ugly. All right. Ascend does charge. I'm with Black Box. I'm talking about it on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, RSI looking pretty ugly, man. That's too ugly. I mean, these candlesticks are definite that this thing is either being diluted or is just ugly. Did I review Square? We haven't taken a look at Square in quite a while. We haven't looked at Square in quite a while. Square was another company that ran really hard going into the end of the year. This was also a Bitcoin stock, right? If I remember correctly, Square was accepting Bitcoin. And here's the thing, though. They had already been accepting Bitcoin for some time. It just wasn't well known, and then they came out and said it. Hey, we're accepting Bitcoin. But they were already doing that. So then it became a legitimate Bitcoin play, even though that's not even really their business, right? I think it was only providing them with very, very little transactions because most guys weren't selling their Bitcoin for goddamn anything, right? There are articles of corner stores and pumps saying, hey, yeah, we accept Bitcoin, but they had never did a Bitcoin transaction because nobody was actually wanting to spend their Bitcoin, They were holding it. Why do that when the very next day was more valuable than it was the previous day? All right, so then we all know what kind of happened after Bitcoin reached its top, many stocks sold off on that news. But obviously Square is a different kind of business, selling off because like many other companies, as you can see here, Square got a lot of meat on that bone. Going negative now, all right, at least in the short term. But as you can see here, we're almost $11 away from that 200 moving average. So a lot of meat on this bone. It could continue to go lower. We'll see. All right, we'll see. All right, but there are quite a few stocks already past their 200 moving averages. We talked about Facebook being one of them. They're already basically in a depressionary, price range. Here's Facebook. I think Tesla is getting close. If not, Tesla. Ooh, damn, Tesla's way behind. Damn shit. All right, Tesla. Wow, they haven't been that. What is that? 20. Yeah, so Tesla. Okay. Tesla breaking all the trends there. All right, so Netflix. Still got a lot of meat on that one on Netflix too. So, these are great companies that could pull back significantly. And it doesn't mean that a year, 2 years, 3 years from now they're not going to be at where they are now or even higher. It's just the rhythm of the market. Dr. Butterfly, you say you took profits on one of your shares in Amazon. That's what's up. I think, right now, yeah, that's the smart thing to do on Amazon is to sell. Because right now you got that thing where Trump could come after Amazon. What would happen if Trump comes after Amazon? I mean, just to really fuck with people's minds. And that's probably the smart thing to do right now is to take profits until this bullshit is over. And you get a clearer direction in the overall market as well. Because, bear market is a bear market. Everything is either going to struggle or come down. Very rarely do you see stocks thrive in a bear market. Some people may consider early 2016 kind of a bear market, and we didn't see very good stories in 2016 for the most part. All right, if we go back to some good companies at the time, like let me see here. That's where AMD took off. Was 26. Let me see some good companies. Let me see Nvda. I think Nvda was that one. Where's 2016? Yeah, there we go. So Nvda. All right, Nvda 2016. If we zoom in, I'm gonna have to really zoom in. 2016 Nvda. All right, so this is January of 2016. We saw Nvda. Great company, right? Great company. Had an awesome 2015, but going into 2016, market overall wasn't really great. Eventually it got to running, but for the most part, you saw Nvidia sell off. So great company doing big things. Oh, by the way, wouldn't you love to have $25 Nvidia? Wouldn't you have loved to have $25 Nvidia? So it struggled. It struggled for, this is about 3 months. All right, struggled for 3 months at the beginning of 2016. And, good companies will lose in the bearish market or struggle. Jeff, you said you can make money shorting pumps? Absolutely. Just did that today with EKSO. EKSO came out on Monday and said, hey, guys, we got great news coming shortly. And that news never came out. And the news never came out. So guys tried to get out the trade yesterday, and I had it on watch for this morning, and I just killed it, man. I've seen that way too many times. Damn, shout out to Dr. Butterfly. You bought it at 700? That's what's up. Bought it at 700. She bought it in Amazon at 700. I'll give you that monster call. Monster kill. I'll give you that. God damn, we in here heavy. Oh, 100 people at 11 o'clock? Usually by now I'd be down to like 71 or some shit. BGFV. Big Five Sporting Goods. Let me go ahead and zoom and get to the Big Five Sporting Goods. All right, looks like we got some things turning around there on Big Five Sporting Goods. All right. I'm guessing we had a good earnings. No. Actually losing money. Not bad though. You know, could be better, but still. Yeah, very mixed fourth quarter. You know, they own Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, where are you at on the 100? All right. Oh yeah. So interesting. All right, crossing that 100 moving average. All right, that's nice. Where's the 50 at? Because the 50 is a uptrend defense. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, obviously, yeah, you'd be over. Where's the? What am I looking for? 200 is up there. Uptrend. What did it do? Did it fight that 50? No, it really just popped above it. The 50, Steve Burns calls the 50 moving average on a daily chart. He calls it the upward defense line. And he says that it tends to be the line where when a turnaround is beginning to happen, there tends to be a fight at that 50. And you'll start to see resistance at the 50. And if you get a clear break of it, then the 100 is clearly the last leg of resistance. And then you definitely can get pretty much a slap on the 200. Not saying that's, you're guaranteed to get to the 200. I'm just saying if you got that book that I give to you guys, the 100 moving average, 101 moving averages, that's what he talks about. All right. Yes, press like on this video if you can. Press like on this video. Yeah, we did talk about fuzz. We talked about fuzz, and we explained how, it's a crock of bullshit, at least for the short term. But we also mentioned how it could, be green tomorrow, depending on where the stock opens up and whether or not, you have buyers to pick it up off those lows. It depends. Do some research on that, big boy. But I love the RSI as a buy signal, especially that using, the 50 RSI line. Guys like to have lines at the 30 and the 70, and I think you miss a big opportunity to define where, that bullish momentum begins, which is the 50 RSI line. So you miss an opportunity to get into a great opportunity where, a stock could be turning around for what could be the long term. And again, going back to my play, SOXS, right, the bear, right, here's the daily, and you get a nice break, right, 50 RSI line, right there, smack on the 50. And I said how, MACD can show you sometimes early, sometimes late, that you need to be looking at a particular play. So now I'm in this, and I'm going to stay in it until either I get a cross back underneath the 50 or MACD crosses before it. But right now, I'm loving the way it's going, and I'm going to continue to stay short. All right, this oversold chart. All right, this is semiconductor bear 3x leveraged play, and nice gain today, 6% gain. And I've got, quite a bit of money just sitting in there. And you'll have up days, you'll have down days, but I'd love to see how over the course of, 60 to 90 days where I'm at, and we'll make a judgment call. But I think this is the beginning of something really nice, because when I look at the sister ETF, and you talk about the opportunities where if you had got in long, right, on some of these daily charts. What's going on, Bats? What if you got the opportunity to go in long? This could have been really nice for you. What's up, Bats?
Sal, hey Sal, I'm just calling you to embarrass you again because I know you're just very humble, and all I'm calling you right now to just say, Sal, I've DM'd you on Twitter.
Okay.
And I know that people just joined the group in the last hour. They may not have heard our conversation from before, but I just want to show you appreciation. So let us know, please, Sal. Let us know when you're free and pick a destination of your choice. Even if it means that we have to come to you in Charlotte. Maybe there are nice places out there we can host you and show our appreciation. If I have to do this by myself, I will do, because it's time, Sal. I mean, you've given a lot to the trading community. You've given a lot to us. People like us who've been struggling from a lower socioeconomic status, or people that just want to free themselves, emancipate themselves from the financial shackles of working for someone else. Please just let us know. I already sent you a tweet, so you're compelled to reply to me and let us know when you're free. I don't care what holiday it is. Whenever you're free, I can get as many people as can be available, but we need to show you our to appreciate you and host you and meet up with you and just show you how much we appreciate you. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'll pick a date that's far enough away that guys can give their places of employment, but it's gonna be a holiday weekend. I'll make sure it's a holiday weekend where guys can be able to take that time, and we're gonna get it popping. It's not gonna be somewhere crazy like the Peru or some crap like that. But
pick the Peru, man.
But
pick the Peru. We'll make it.
It'll be fine, bro. It'll be fine. I'll give me like 24 hours to get a date. But I'll make sure that it's a great date, and we get a response on it.
Yeah, I didn't want to call you again because I know that you're just a humble person and you don't want to get involved in this. But listen, man, how many years have you been doing this show?
Well, yeah, it's been June of 2016. So it'll be almost 2 years. Actually, is it?
Exactly. So do we not deserve to pay respects to you and honor you for everything you've done for us? Do we not at least deserve to do that for you?
Well, I appreciate that. That's all I can say. I won't say, who am I to say I'm deserving of something, but I appreciate that because I love the way our energy plays. So I want to say I'm continuing to work to be greater, to be better. So I would appreciate whatever it is you do. That's all.
I mean, you're in Charlotte, right? So you're close to North Myrtle Beach and all those places.
Yeah.
If you can't go, I mean, Kelly Robb's on board, Dr. Butterfly. I mean, there a lot of us who just want to meet up with you and just appreciate you. So if whatever happens and you can't leave the state of North Carolina, just let us know what weekend you're available, preferably a long weekend, so we can at least do, 2 or 3 nights where we host you at some nice resort. But, I just had to call you because for me, this is it's been weighing on me, from when I joined the show and for all that you've done for us and the trading community. For me, it's really been weighing on me, and if I have to do it myself, so be it. If it means that only you and I are meeting, and I'm hosting you at some resort, I will do that, by myself. But I think it's time that we recognize what you've done for us and everything that you continue to do for us. And yeah, I hate that I had to call you again and put you on the spot.
No, Bats, that's so African of you. I know where that comes from, Bats.
Yeah,
I understand where that comes from, and again, I'm honored, of that. So, Bats, I get it. I mean, I know where that comes from, bro. I'm very familiar with that, and I can't just oh, thank you. I'm honored, and I would receive that, Bat. So I appreciate you, man.
Okay, so Sal, please respond to my DM. Look at your calendar. I know you're a busy man. Let me know what weekend works for you. If we have to come from the West Coast to North Carolina, that is what it will be. And all I want is to just give you a good time and to just honor you and say, hey, Sal, you've done so much for the trading community. You've been the wave, you've been the sea that's risen, everyone up into at least just exploring the possibility of saying, beyond our regular jobs, what can we do to make a living trading? And yeah, I told my wife, I'm like, my son who's 3 years old, every time like I tune into you and it brings tears to my eyes, every time I tune into you, he says, hey, that's Sal. This is my 3-year-old who's been listening to you for the past year. He knows your voice. He knows what you look like. And he knows that his dad, is heavily embroiled and, and loves the show. And you know what? It can't get better than that. When your 3-year-old says to you, hey, that's Sal on the show, and he knows who you are. I mean, that's very, very humbling for me, brings tears to my eyes. So yeah, I know we talked about this even last year or the year before that, but I had to call you again and just put you on the spot. Please respond to my DM on Twitter. I really appreciate you, and my family appreciates you. So yeah. That's all I have for you, Sal. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, Bats. Thank you so much, man. And I will respond to that, dude. I appreciate you.
Okay, appreciate it. Wherever you want, even if it's in those funny islands that they show with celebrities, Seychelles, Mauritius, wherever. If it means that I myself am the only person that meets with you, so be it. But we got to give you your due props. I mean, it's time, man. It's time. You've done more. You've done more for us in the last year than most traders have done jointly in the last 10 years.
Yes, indeed.
So that's a big deal. Love Tim Sykes. Love all these guys. But who hosts free shows every night? Yeah. Giving all the knowledge out there and, hosting a platform where traders can jump in and promote everything. I'm sick and tired of not appreciating you. Yes, I'm a Patreon and I've started donating to you every month, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And so for me, whether it's guilt or whether it's just I don't know. I just want to do more for you because you're the real deal. You're the Black Panther of the trading market. And I know we may disagree as to whether Black Panther is the right analogy or not, but you've done a great deal for us, and I can't ignore that. I just feel I have to do stuff for you. I have to do shit for you, and whether it's me hosting, paying $5,000-$10,000 for you to go to some resort, I will do that if it means I do that myself. But listen, Sal, you've got a lot of people who support you, so I think we're in good terms here.
I appreciate you, Bats. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you. I mean, you're, I'm humbled, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Please respond. Let's get something going. as soon as possible and look at your schedule. Please just respond. And if it just means a few of us come out to host you and have a good weekend, so be it. Thank you so much, Sal.
Appreciate
All
you,
right,
Bats.
God bless. All right, bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Bats was almost at that get out of here, damn nigga territory. Oh, Bats, love you, bro. Love you, bro. All right? I appreciate you, man. I almost dropped it on him. I almost dropped it on him, but that's Bad Scientist, man. He's a good man. He's a good man. All right? He's a good man. Yes, indeed. All right. So let me do a few more tickers and get up out of here. You know we can do 7 hours in here. You know, sometimes I slip up and forget. Next thing you know, it's 5 hours, 4 hours. You know, I remember my ISP charter came out. I think this was like, man, this was like 3 months after the show started, and they were like, we're seeing a lot of heavy downloading here. Oh, we're just wondering what's going on, you know, because I'm a heavy user, you know what I mean? And at that time I was, you know, my shows were all at least 5 to 7 hours. So, and this is just pure stream, you know, so they were wondering what the hell was going on. That was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, Craig G, damn. We're getting to that point, bro. You know, when you're consistent with what you do, people respect that, bro. You know, if I was coming in here very irregularly, once every other day, every other 2 days, people like, oh, I don't know about that guy. But, you know, unless, like I said, something comes up or I'm just not at home, I don't do the show. But otherwise, I'm gonna do the show because I love talking about this, man. I could go all night talking about stocks. You know, and it takes time, man. He talks about, Bats was talking about how to, you know, make money trading and whatnot. And those of you guys who know, I started off promoting, you know. I started off promoting and then eventually landed into trading. And it takes time, man. You got to build your account up. And once you get to that level, and I want to say, you know, about 25 to 30, maybe even, you know, about 30,000. I'd say 30,000, you know, and then you can, you know, try to look for that 3% a day, you know, that 3% on that a day as your goal. You know, then it starts to become a reality. Because by the time you get to 30,000, especially for those of you guys who you start with, you know, you start with 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. By the time you get there, you know what the fuck you're doing. You know. And that's why when you see me put up my profits, you know, you're probably never going to see me with like a $10,000 day. You know, maybe I'll put up 3 or 4 at toward the high spectrum, but for the most part, I'm looking for at least 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, then I'm like, you know, I like to take profits, especially when on one day. You know, David, you say you know me as a promoter? Yeah, some guys know me as a promoter. All right. I randomly came across a video, didn't know what made me watch. Oh, that's what's up. I appreciate you, Brendan. All right, appreciate you, Free Music. Yeah, let me get you guys up out of here. Again, look out for that. Follow me on Twitter, OTC3000. Follow me on Twitter, OTC3000. I'm going to put out an article, if not tonight, early tomorrow. about how to, again, go short the U.S. dollar using exchange-traded funds. Because, again, there's a lot of meat on that bone when you're talking about these indexes that have just ran incredibly over the last 2-3 years. So if what's going to happen happens, like I think it will, that's where I want to go. I want to be on the other side of these inverse that are so beaten down, and I want that move. I want the other side of that move. If it's a 20%, 30% move, I want that cash to be there. I want that cash to be there. So I want to take advantage of that. And of course, you can go with individual stocks, right? I mean, Netflix, Amazon. I'd stay away from some of them that are actually, value plays. I mean, I would probably stay away from like trying to short like an MU or an Intel, or some of those are already relatively, I don't want to say cheap, but they could continue to go because they've got quite a bit of upside. For example, when we look at MU, it's at 51, and then you see the 200 is at 40. This could very well continue to go higher, even if the market sells off considerably. There's quite a bit of value in a chart like this that's relatively close to its 200 moving average. But again, stocks like, Netflix, or even a worse case, Amazon, I think Nvda is still far. Nvda, all right? I mean, with these prices on them, PE ratios 50 plus, expensive stocks. Craig G, you said you need to go back to Discord. I'm doing too much to be chatting and trading now. I'm doing too much. I'm already having trouble staying in the Black Box Discord because they wanted me to participate there and all that. I don't even have time for that. And I'm trying to really get this website, and it's popping now. Good to see that the website's really picked up and guys are using it to get ideas, or at least, it's pulling up on Google now and stuff like that. So continue to write little articles and stuff like that to really get that popping. All right? Yes, indeed. So let me get up out of here. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. Again, y'all don't hesitate to call up, man. I know I always got my regulars, but I haven't heard from some of you guys at all, man. I gotta call you out just to get you to call me. I'm gonna start calling some people out in here. You've been damn near watching this show every goddamn day, and I've never heard your voice. Yes, indeed. Appreciate all of you. Great show tonight. This is not going to end, folks. This is going to keep going. As I said, the beginning of April, you're going to have companies reassess or assess what earnings could be for their company. So it's either going to be good or bad. It's going to be very interesting to see. May is going to be earnings season. We're going to be here for it. We're going to be here for it all. All right? Whatever happens, just continue to keep your money working for you. Either have it somewhere doing something, but you don't want to be sitting in cash right now when there is a lot of opportunity, especially on the downside for you to take advantage of. All right? You want to be taking some risk here. Even if it's small. Trade small, trade often if you want. But you want to have some money working. Show tomorrow, yes. Yeah. No. Well, today's Thursday. Yeah, now it's Thursday. Yeah, I'll have a show tonight. We'll wrap up the week. And, I'm looking to see if the market, we want to test that 200. So we could pull up tomorrow. I'm expecting possibly a weak green day. But again, I'm praying for us to test that 200. We'll see. Appreciate you, Kelly Robb, Bad Scientist, Sinclair, David Duncan, Dr. Butterfly, appreciate you. Donzel Essex, Gucci, Corey Quan, Trader Marv, Ann Bullard, thank you. Gold Hill Trader, Kayak Z, Legendary 8s, One Mark DC. Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate all of you guys. Bill Betts, appreciate all of you guys. One Gunner, appreciate you. Andrew Gladness, all of you. Until tomorrow, happy trading, folks. Take care.